everyone, it's Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers. Today I'm going to show you a cute card that I made for my great niece's birthday. Her party is this weekend and I wanted to make her a unique card, so I actually made her a shaker card. I'm also doing a shaker card class, so check out my website at Kim's Basement Bunch for all the details on that class. But I'm going to actually walk you through how I made this card and how quick and simple it is. Shaker cards can be scary, but it really isn't that bad once you get going on it. So I'm going to put this to the side and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I started with a piece of Watermelon Wonder cardstock that is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and I've got that scored at 4 1/4. So that is the base of my card. I did that in advance to save a little bit of time. Then I used a piece of the new Glimmer Paper. Now this is a Sale-a-bration offering, so it comes in 3 different colors. It comes in the Mint Macaron, it comes in Bermuda Bay, and the Sweet Sugar Plum. And you can get that with a $50 qualifying order, but only through the end of March. So don't delay. Get that order in right away to get that awesome paper. So that is my mat. Again, I wouldn't make a ton of these, but I wanted this card to be special for her. So, you know, it does take a whole piece of glitter paper almost, but it's really, really pretty. And then I cut a piece of Whisper White to 5 by 3 3/4, and in advance I took a square from the Squares collection, the Squares layering collection, and I ran that through the Big Shot and I cut out that square. So make sure you keep that square. You can use it on something different. So there's the piece that I cut out, but that is cut out so that I can adhere a window sheet to that to make my shaker. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on the opposite side. Doesn't matter, I guess, right now, but I'm used to doing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually adhere my window sheet. So this is, we sell acetate window sheets, 12 by 12, and I cut this to 3.5 by 3.5, and I'm going to adhere this to the back of this card so that I can add my shakers and build my shaker part for all those cute little things to go in. So for gluing this, I actually used our Tombow liquid glue. And again, you don't want to use too much of this glue because you don't want it to go over inside that square. So I want to round the outer edge a little bit, very lightly. And I'm doing this in advance so that this has time to dry before I want to add all of my little shakers to it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on there like so. Okay, I'm now going to put that to the side so that has time to dry. And I'm going to actually now, I'm going to leave my little card in here so you can kind of see it if I can. But I'm going to actually now make that cupcake, because that cupcake also needs some time to dry and all those little toppings on there, the cute little sprinkles. So we're going to go ahead and make that next. And that I used the stamp set called Sprinkles of Life. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's been in the catalog for a while. And I'm going to actually use this piece right here for the top of my cupcake and that piece right there for the bottom. So I've got a scrap of crumb cake and of Whisper White in here, and I'm going to run the embossing buddy over top of them. Now this just takes out any of the static so that we can have the powder stick where we just want it to stick. So I'm going to bring in my versamark pad, and I'm going to stamp the bottom onto the crumb cake, and I'm going to stamp the top onto my piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to do it on the bottom so I can punch that out. So there's a punch that coordinates with the top piece of that. And let me get my Versamark out of the way. And I have some gold embossing powder here. So, and I've been putting it into little containers because it's kind of easier sometimes to get that done when you're doing large quantities of cards. And again, I'm a lefty, so bear with me on that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. And now I'm going to actually, with my heat tool, I'm going to heat set this embossing powder. So most of you have probably seen this before. It just turns that into like a plastic look. I use the gold embossing powder. So bear with me here as this embosses. You might even be able to see it change too, how it turns to from a matte finish to like a gold shiny finish. So that one is done. And that is done. Okay, so there is not any kind of a punch to punch out this bottom part, so that you're just going to hand cut. And I left a little bit of a dome on the top of that, so I had something to adhere my cupcake top to. So again, this is just straight cutting, not too complicated. And then I'm going to use the punch. This punch coordinates with that Sprinkles of Life stamp set. And I am going to just punch this right out, line that right up. One of the awesome things that Stampin' Up! Has is all the coordination of stuff for us, which I think is awesome. And then I used the liquid glue. I've been using this liquid glue more and more for little things because it's just a nice glue. Maybe I'll use it here. Okay, maybe I will not use that glue. I'm going to change to my fast fuse. Glad I have another option here. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere that top to that. Okay, so there's my cute little cupcake. And then what I did, and I am going to need to use this glue for this, so let me make sure I can get it to come out. Ah, it's being finicky here on me. I just used it too. There, I got it to come. Use the other side. So I'm just going to put this glue. Now this glue does dry fast. Sorry about that delay there. Faulty glue. Shame on the glue. So I put a little bit of glue on the top of that. And these are the Sprinkles embellishments that are in the Occasions catalog, and they're absolutely beautiful. And they coordinate with the colors that I used on this. So that is why I'm using these. And I just very carefully put a few on here. And this does take a little bit of time to dry, so that's why you're going to want to do this kind of in advance. And I did push those down pretty good. I'm going to actually use my scissors here and spread some of those around. You could use tweezers as well. I'm going to spread those around, push them down kind of good because I want to make sure they stick. And they will. The sample that I have that I've shown you, I did that card last night, and they do stick really, really good. So there. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. So there's our cupcake. And I do have a few excess on there, so let me shake them off. Okay, so there it is. Isn't that cute? So I'm putting that to the side. I'm going to let that dry. And now I'm going to go back to building our actual shaker card. So this is the piece that I cut out and put that window sheet on. And now I'm going to adhere some foam strips to that. So these are Stampin' Up's foam adhesive strips. You get 2 packs of them in a bundle. And so I'm going to go ahead and take off one of these foam strips. And these things bend really, really good. So if you were doing a card that wasn't a square, like a circle or an oval, they would bend really good for you around the different shapes. So I chose a square just because it's simple for me, and I like simple, easy, duplicatable. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the strip there. And I'm just going to cut that off. And you don't want any space to show because otherwise your little sprinkles are going to come out of there. So you got to make sure you butt those little corners right up to each other so that you don't have any issue. And you want to go around the outer edge of where the people are going to see. So you don't want to go inside that open square. You want to go on the outside of it. So there it is. And it doesn't have to line up perfect because no one is going to see this after it's all said and done. You're just building a little shaker box window so that you can add the cute sprinkles. So again, button that right up, making sure it's sticking really good. And then you can see how I'm bending and folding that right up to get right in there. So this is double-sided right now. It's not sticky on this side till I peel off the backing. Then what you're going to do, because of static being issues, you're going to take your embossing buddy. This is a nice little tip that most people might not know about. Take your embossing buddy and you're going to just kind of smooth out and get all the static out of the inside of this square. Otherwise, when you add your sprinkles, they might stick and not move around because of the static that's on that little window sheet. So something that I recently learned myself. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some of these sprinkles. You can add a little, you can add a lot. It doesn't really matter, whatever you want to do. I like quite a bit in there because I don't give a lot of these kind of cards out. So if I'm going to make them, I want to make them up good so that they're a nice wow card. And then the next thing I did is I used the Cupcakes and Carousel Designer Series paper pack. And that paper pack, you get a bunch of different Designer Series paper in it, all different colors. So I actually used this one right here. and I cut it to a 3.5 by 3.5 inch piece of paper. And so that is what I'm going to then do once I take off the paper or the backing. This piece of paper is going to go on here so it covers up the back. So let me go ahead and peel those strips off. And this is where you're going to want to be really careful because you've already got those little sprinkles in there. This comes off very easy. Okay, and then you're just going to lay this piece of paper down on the top of that. So again, everything's kind of cut to 3.5 by 3.5. My window sheet was 3.5 by 3.5, and so is this piece. So you're going to kind of line that up. You're going to stick it down on top, and you want to make sure you get a really good seal on that because you do not want those sprinkles to come out. So you're going to push that really good. So the back doesn't look the best, but look at how cute that is. So there's your shaker card. And I'm not going to actually take the time to put it all together today because I figure most of you know how to do that. But I went ahead and adhered it onto this glitter piece of paper. From there, I adhered it on to the card itself. Let me pull that down so you guys can see it better. And then I cut out a couple pieces of paper. The glitter paper is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4. The white is 1 by 3, and those just mat perfect together. I put that down here on the bottom. And then I used the Happy Birthday from the Cool Treats stamp set. And I stamped the Happy Birthday in with the Watermelon Wonder ink. That's what I stamped on the bottom down here. And then I adhered with dimensionals, this cute little cupcake right here. And there you have a finished shaker card that looks like that. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my video today. I encourage you to join my mailing list. Go to kimsbasementbunch.com. There's a button there to join my mailing list. You'll get updates on all videos that I do in the future, as well as any promotions that I'm offering. I also offer some of my classes to go with an online order. So again, I encourage you to follow me and like me on Facebook. I'm there as well. Let's search for Kim Vogel's Basement Bunch Stampers. Thanks for stopping today, and I hope you have a great day.